Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in today's deep dive of the Ferocious Cup, we're going to be going over Bibarel, aka Bucky, and just go ahead and stay tuned for that. Alright, so first thing you might notice is I gave him a little bit of a hat. Well, my MS Paint skills aren't the best, so that's the kind of hat that you get, because to make him look more like Bucky's. And okay, Bibarel is a water and normal type Pokemon. The moves that he's going to be using are Water Gun for the fast attack, Surf for your charge attack, and also Hyper Fang for your other charge attack. So water is going to be super effective against ground and fire, whereas normal is not super effective against anything. It's going to take Water Gun a lot of... It's a very fast move, so it's going to be really hard to count, but it takes 14 Water Guns to get to a Surf, and then 17 for that Hyper Fang. A 100% PvP IV Bibarel is 0, 14, 13, and with that you'll get up to level 33.5. So this Pokemon's going to be a pretty big Stardust investment. It's going to get into the higher levels. But he's really good in this cup. I think he's ranked 2 right now after a little bit of a switch up. He's right there, right behind Umbreon. The resistances that Bibarel's going to have are Ice, Fire, Water, and Steel, which is normally what water resists. And to go along with that normal type, he's also going to resist Ghost. In fact, he's going to double resist it. So you're only going to be getting hit for 1/3 of the damage of the Ghost moves. His weaknesses are Electric and Grass, as normal water types have, or as water types have, and then he also gains the weaknesses of the normal type, which is going to be Fighting type. So some of the good things about Bibarel is that he has a really high stamina stat and a pretty good attack. So a lot of the reasons that a lot of Pokemon are not very good in PvP in the Great League is because that attack stat is too high and it's pushing them over the edge. But luckily for Bibarel, he is able to get to a high level because he has a normal CP level that's very low compared to most. So he's actually got a pretty good attack stat compared to the overall Great League, and really high stamina. So he's also really good against the core meta of the Ferocious Cup right now, and he even goes even with Vaporeon in the 0 and 1 shield scenarios. Now you are going to be losing those 2 shield scenarios, but it's not always going to be starter versus starter, right? And if it is, then you know you can't win that 2 shield, so you'll want to either try to get to the 1 shield scenario if you don't mind using a shield there, or if you want to conserve shields, you know to switch out pretty much right away, or maybe you get a few hits in and then swap out. So a few notable matchups that Bibarel has is, we'll talk about the losing notable matchups, and that is against Skunk Tank, Granbull, Umbreon, and then a general weakness to the electric types, since they do super effective damage, and those are going to be Raichu, Raikou, and Minun. For the notable wins that you might be seeing is Alolan Sandshrew, Donphan, Alolan Ninetales, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, and then of course the fire types of Torkoal and Alolan Marowak. So you can see the shielding is a little cramped. I'm really trying to fit as many of the winning matchups as I can into each of the sections for the 0, 1, and 2 shield scenarios. But you know, sometimes we just don't have enough room for that. So in the 0 shields, you're going to be really good against Suicune, Piloswine, Donphan, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Larion, and then if you see the little translucent or transparent Torkoal, you're going to be winning that matchup in the 0, 1, and 2 shield scenarios. You're also going to be beating the Alolan Marowak in that scenario. And then in the 1 shield scenario, you're going to be beating Torkoal, as I said before. You're also going to be beating Donphan, Lickitung, Pillow-Swine, Suicune, Alolan Sandslash, Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Marowak, Furret, Nidoking and Nidoqueen as well, and Larion. And then in the 2 shield scenarios, you're going to be beating Torkoal, Larion, Alolan Ninetales, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Alolan Marowak, Pillow-Swine, Donphan, and Lickitung as well. So, Bibarel, a really good Pokemon, has a lot of good matchups, as you can see here, and a lot of those Pokemon in these matchups are the big hitters of Ferocious Cup as of this point. So some of those are like Nidoking or Nidoqueen, and then of course Donphan, Lickitung, Larion, sometimes Suicune, and then you go even in the 0 and 1 shield scenarios with Vaporeon, but a notable bad matchup in all shield scenarios is going to be Umbreon. So he is the king of the cup, so you don't want to go up against Umbreon with Bibarel. You will not win that matchup. And yeah, another notable win here is against Alolan Ninetales, who is really good against Umbreon. So people bring Alolan Ninetales as an anti-Umbreon, so this can be an anti to the anti-Umbreon, which means if you are running Umbreon, a really good combination is with Bibarel. I think one of the biggest things that are going to be decisions for you in this cup are which water type are you going to bring. And I think Bibarel has its own merits. It really depends on your team comp of what else you're missing in your team. So right now, a lot of the big hitters are Bibarel, Suicune, and Vaporeon. So hopefully this helps you decide if you want to use Bibarel or not. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you want to hear the next deep dive, and hopefully that'll be here in the next day or two. And thank you for watching.